Hello, my name is Josh, and this is my new channel, How to Tie Knots. This is going to be my first video, so I figured that I would start off telling you a little bit about myself and why I came up with this crazy idea of making videos on how to tie knots. So as I said, my name is Josh. I am an Eagle Scout. I've aged out of the Scouts. I am now going to college with the intent of getting a degree in engineering. As of right now, I think there is only one other good knot site. And so I figured, why not make another, YouTube channel on how to do knots. I got my interest in this probably from when I was in the Scouts. Many people think that a scout can tie any sort of knot to anything, anywhere, anytime. But my personal experience is that you really only learn probably 6 or 8 knots while you're in the Scouts. You got the square knot, 2 half hitches, bow line, timber hitch, clove hitch. I mean, you really don't learn a lot of knots. So I thought, well, I'll learn some other knots, and I was amazed at how many hundreds of knots there are out there. Whether it's boating or fishing or climbing or anything. There's just a special knot for each individual task. So I figured I would make some videos on how to tie knots and show you how to do it with your hands rather than the knots just magically appearing like they do on some of the other videos. And so without further ado, in this first video I'm going to cover the very, very basics of knot tying. Now, many of you probably already know how to do these, but you may not know the different names behind them. So the first knot, we'll only need one end of the rope for it, and it's just a simple overhand knot. And that's just making a loop and pulling it through like that. And I'm sure all of you have probably done this before. And it's called the overhand knot. And it's the basis for dozens and dozens of knots. And we'll get to those in later videos. So this is the overhand knot. The second knot is one that sometimes can get confused with a different knot, and the next one is the half knot. Now, sometimes a half knot gets confused with a half hitch. A half knot is where you take 2 pieces of rope and you just twist it like that. It's not putting another twist in and making a square knot, or heaven forbid a granny knot. It's just that first twist, and it doesn't matter which one you have on top, just as long as you remember which one it is, because for a knot such as a square knot, it does matter. As long as you know which one you started with, it doesn't matter, but you do need to know which one you started with. Then the one that the half knot gets confused with sometimes, just for the name, is a half hitch. And a half hitch, I'm going to use this weight here, is where you zoom in. You would wrap the rope around a pole or whatever it is that you need to hook a rope to, and also, for future reference, the short end of the rope is going to be the tail end of the rope, or this is the unloaded end. If you were going to say, use this to tie down a tarp. Your long end is going to probably be the one that's hooked to the tarp. So the long end is the loaded end, and then this would be your unloaded end because there's not going to be any tension pulling against this. So you're going to take your unloaded end and then wrap it around the loaded side and then just pull it through like that, and that is a half hitch. Now once again, by itself, the half hitch really isn't any sort of a knot really to use, but you can add in another one and get 2 half hitches and various other knots. So once again, it's just the basis of other knots. So that's really the 3 basic parts of knot tying, and so that's all we're going to cover in this video. In the next video, I'm going to go over the granny knot versus the square knot. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.